Sup guys, and welcome to Doctor Who Discussions. My name is Charlie,
And my name is Russell.
and as you can see, or rather not see, we've rather changed formats this time. Yeah, we decided Skype wasn't working since it constantly cut out and lagged, so we've switched to just a voice call now.
Yay! And that means you don't have to look at our faces. So yeah, the win-win all round.
Absolutely. So, apologies for the lateness of this episode. We are working on, proper timing. But we are currently discussing the first episode of the season. What was the title?
The pilot?
Yeah. What was the title of that?
The pilot.
Yeah, we're talking about the pilot episode. What was the title?
It was called The Pilot.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
We're hilarious.
Yeah. I'm sure this isn't a joke that's been made a million times.
What? I can't imagine anybody else would have the amazing comedic timing that we have to make this joke.
We strive for original humour here.
Absolutely. We've never repeated a joke. Ever, ever, ever.
See? We could have repeated a joke there, but we didn't.
That's because we can't think of any jokes to repeat.
That's it, yeah. We haven't established any memes.
In any case, back on context. So, first episode of the season, introduction of a new companion. So, shall we start with her?
Yeah, absolutely. So we got Bill Potts, played by Pearl Mackie, who is really good.
Yeah.
I've been enjoying her in this season, and I really enjoyed her in this first episode.
Should make reference. At the time of recording, The Pyramid at the End of the World aired yesterday. You have seen it?
I've seen it. Charlie has not.
I have only seen up to Oxygen. So I haven't seen the last couple episodes.
Yeah.
I've been busy with work.
But yeah, going into series 10. I was really worried about Bill because pretty much everything we'd seen of her beforehand was just dreadful. Like you had the initial reveal clip of her in April last year, where she was sort of like a grown up version of Courtney from Kill the Moon, where she's just sort of asking annoying questions. And she's not taking anything seriously.
Sorry, I don't remember that, but that I blocked Kill the Moon from my memory, so.
But yeah, it's sort of like, oh, what's a Dalek? Do you reckon there's one at the back with two plungers who's really hacked off? And it just came across as really annoying and really obnoxious. And the trailers we were getting weren't very good either. Like, there was the line, like, she enters the TARDIS, she goes, it's like a kitchen! Like, I still don't get it. Having watched the episode, and I still don't quite get how she managed to make that connection.
I guess the point is that she's comparing it to something she's seen because of her narrow scope, and the Doctor's going to expand her horizons. But no, it wasn't that funny.
I mean, I like chips, but I don't think I'd compare the TARDIS to a kitchen in that way.
Trust me, I know bad comedy. I do bad comedy all the time. That was bad comedy.
This is all bad comedy here.
Nothing you'll hear on this show will be funny.
We aim to make our audience not laugh as much as possible.
And we seem to be doing a fairly good job there.
Yeah, you're welcome, all three of you watching.
But yeah, Bill really impressed me.
Yeah, she was actually really good in the actual episode, and like I say, in the actual series.
Yeah.
Because... And we spoke about this before because we did try recording this before, and
it went badly.
If you know us, we have technical difficulties out the wazoo here
all the time.
But the thing we sort of said was she's a person, unlike like the previous Moffat companions. Amy, Clara, River, they all had something uber special about them. They were sort of the most important person in the universe. Whereas Bill seems like somebody you could meet off the street. Like, she seems like a normal, down-to-earth human being.
She seems to be a deliberate attempt to recreate a somebody similar to a previous companion, in this case Donna, which I'm never a big fan of trying to recreate companions. I always want to do more stuff, but if you're going to try and copy a companion, Donna's a pretty good one to choose.
I don't know. I'd compare her more to Rose, to be honest. Maybe that's just sort of the age...
Yeah. It's somewhere between the two, but she seems to be very much a kind of every woman, just somebody who is normal but dissatisfied with her life, and so she meets this incredible, amazing, extraordinary person who takes her on adventures, which could apply to Rose or Donna.
or even Martha.
It could apply to most companions, which is a good thing. Because this is what we want from a companion. A normal person who does extraordinary things thanks to the opportunities provided to them by the Doctor, rather than somebody we are told is extraordinary but doesn't do anything interesting. Clara.
Yeah, and the story arc of the series isn't based around Bill at all. You know, you had the cracks in time around Amy. You had River herself has always been a mystery, and then you've got Clara, who for the first half season she was a mystery, and then it'd be nice just to for the Doctor just to travel around with a mate, like somebody he enjoys having around.
Yeah.
And yeah, go on.
No, sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, like Capaldi and Mackie do work well together.
Oh, I was going to say, Pearl Mackie really is really good. She really slipped into the role very well, and she really sells it.
Yeah, and she gets across the one thing I do like is she's sort of the opposite of Clara in that Clara she was never fallible. She was infallible. She could just walk into a room and she'd just be like, "Yeah, I'm the calmest, most level-headed person in the room." But even though she's on an alien spaceship 2 million years in the future, whereas Bill actually reacts to that kind of thing. You know, she acts like how a normal person would. She's also kind of insecure. There's that scene where she's in the Doctor's office and she's sort of rambling about how she doesn't like her face. It's always making weird expressions.
Yo, same.
Yeah, there's another reason why we switched to voice call.
But yeah, like she does seem to be a very normal person, and I do appreciate that they immediately made us like her with the conversation. So why do you keep coming to my lectures? I'm gay. I know, but that doesn't answer my question. With the terrible Capaldi impression there.
But that opening sequence was quite nice. Like, it is basically just like 2 minutes. Like, here's the Doctor, here's the new companion. Let's get to know them a little. Even if like the Chip story she gave was it was completely waffle.
Yes, but that they acknowledged that in the story.
Yeah,
and I think it worked. And to go on a bit of a rant here. Well, not really rant. I really appreciate the fact that A, she's gay, and B, she's been written, that side of her, in this episode at least, was written really well. Like, it felt very natural.
Yeah, because that was another thing I was extremely worried about, Bill, because, again, not to bash Moffat, but, it's been, 7-8 years now where he's been in charge of the show. Where, like, this is a common problem with him, where, like, they're all of his women are sort of flirtatious, sort of dominatrixy, but no, Bill was actually kind of subtle.
Yeah,
like unlike say Madame Vastra and Jenny, where basically every other line of dialogue is "we're lesbians."
Which she did make references to it, but speaking as someone who is LGBT and spends a lot of their time around LGBT people, most of us won't shut up about how gay we are. So I appreciate the I appreciate the accuracy there, and it didn't intrude much on the story.
So what you're saying is that she needed to be more in your face about it. If I went in the wrong direction this time.
actually, I think it was pretty much perfectly done.
Yeah, and the way she was written as a lesbian character was quite sweet. Although I didn't really enjoy the romance that she actually had with Heather.
I thought it kind of worked, but it should have had more development, really.
Yeah, I think it's one of those cases where, like, the show needs to be longer, or, like, we need more two-part stories like we did in Series 9. Because going back and revisiting New Who quite a bit after, now I've gotten into Classic Who, where, like, the stories are at least around about 2 hour long, I do sort of notice, like, actually, this is kind of rushed. I would have liked to have seen this stretched out over an hour and a half.
I do think that Doctor Who in general should be an hour, an hour long rather than 45 minutes to 50 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, I think every episode of this series has been 50 minutes so far.
Well, it's an extra 5 minutes, which is good, but give it an extra 10 minutes on top of that would be even better.
Yeah, it'd be great. But as for the stuff with Bill and Heather, like, yeah, I could see it starting to blossom, but I feel like they needed more time to it.
It was serviceable, but they needed more.
Yeah. I wouldn't lose too much sleep over it in the state it's in now.
It felt natural, but kind of rushed.
And let's talk about Heather's actual, well, rather the puddle, because she sort of ended up becoming the villain of the story. The puddle itself is, like, for the first half, it's actually kind of a really cool Moffat-y idea.
It is.
Where, you're looking at it, and rather than being a reflection of you, it's sort of...
It's an imitation.
It's an imitation, yeah, that's the best way you could probably put it.
But, like, it feels very much like what Moffat does, which is look out of the window, fixate on a single thing he can see, and think, I'm going to make that scary.
Yeah, and it's also one of those things where it's like, it's kind of in plain sight, but it's not the first thing you think of. Like, you sort of sat there for about 20 minutes, sort of racking your brain on what it is, and then suddenly you get it. You get it, and then suddenly everything makes sense. But then, like, after that was a cool idea. But then you've got, like, when the puddle actually takes Heather, and she sort of becomes the sort of midnight entity / the Flood from Waters of Mars, wandering around dripping wet and copying everyone's sentences.
Yeah,
I did find her motivations to be a bit questionable, because
yeah.
In the end, it turned out she just wanted to be with Bill.
So why were you screaming at her?
Yeah, why are you screaming at this person? Why are you being so creepy around? Like, I'm Heather. Don't get me wrong, babe. I'm terrible with girls too, but I've learned from experience that screaming at them is not a good idea.
I'll take your word for it. Going back to the idea that it's fairly similar to a couple of the monsters, I don't think that's a bad thing, since I'm all right with ideas being similar as long as you do something new with it. Like, take one of Moffat's most famous monsters, his first one, like the Empty Child. A creepy child who wanders around a city asking, "Are you my parent?" and doing horrible things to you if you answer wrong. That's not original to Moffat. That was in one of the Big Finish plays, The Holy Terror, which is highly recommended. It's really good. But
it's Rob Shearman, of course it is.
It's Rob Shearman. But he did something different with it. I won't spoil what, because that would spoil Holy Terror. But he did something different. And in this case, he took some ideas and he did something different with it. And it would have worked if the writing had been a bit more solid. Like, it would have... there is a way that the whole screaming at everybody could have worked. It could have been that she had interpreted Bill's desire to stay with her as a desire to get away from Earth, and so she's doing this in a way to scare her off the planet.
Or maybe...
and fulfill her wish, because she doesn't quite understand how human interaction works. I don't know, I'm spitballing here.
Or maybe one idea could be like, she sort of turns up in the room, she sort of stares at Bill, all, rosy-cheeked and all that, and then the doctor goes, "No, we gotta go, scary water lady," and as soon as he grabs Bill's hand to, pull her away, like, Heather starts screaming there, because it's like, no, don't take Bill, she's mine.
Yeah, and even if all she did to Bill, instead of, screaming at her, was reach out her hand or forcibly, even if she forcibly tried to grab her, and the doctor and Bill got scared by that would work a lot better rather than the whole screaming thing.
Yeah, I think it was just trying too hard to be, sort of modern horror, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong, the screaming was creepy.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like that, her whole performance was very good. I'm afraid I don't know the actress's name, but she was very good in this.
Give me a second, because the advantage of just doing a voice call means I can quickly go and look it up.
Yeah, that is true. I should probably just have the Wikipedia page open here, because it's been a couple of days since I saw the episode, so it might not be as fresh as it could be.
Probably. Quick, I'm looking something up. Distract the audience.
We're on voice call, so I can't juggle.
Oh, damn it!
One thing I will say is I do quite like the sort of hopping around that they did in this episode, even if it felt sometimes it felt kind of distracting, like in the last bit where they're in the Dalek Mavellan War.
Yeah, why were they there?
Fan service?
Well, I mean,
Question mark?
like I meant the Mavellan specifically. The Daleks, like, yeah, you have to fulfill the contract with Terra Nations Estate, but why were the Mavellans there? I mean, they
fan service? Question mark? Question mark?
they put a lot of effort into making them look like they did in classic Who, and it looked
To be
worked
fair,
well.
that's not. To be fair, that's not a lot of effort.
True, but they turned up for like 6 seconds.
Not even. I think 6 is far too generous.
But yeah, the
I think
actress who played Heather, Stephanie Hyam.
Stephanie Hyam. Oh yeah, she was very good.
Yeah, she was. And actually, on the note we were saying, there were a lot of rather unique sets in this, and they all looked pretty good.
Yeah, and something I remember Moffat sort of saying before the series started was if there was only one big thing he could change about Doctor Who that was sort of out of his hands, is that he would get a bigger budget for it. And I was just sort of like, are you for real? Because firstly, you know, the show pretty much survived on monsters made of bubble wrap, but secondly, this is fine. This is like you've gone to several very nice looking locations in this episode. Yes, the CG's a bit off in times, you know, when Heather's turned in, you know, materializing in and out of the water. But
when she's
Sydney,
coming out,
the alien planet.
When she's coming out of the mirror, especially, that was rather dodgy.
I think it was like when she was coming up through the floor, and it was like, oh, that looks about half rendered.
But we talk about Doctor Who making it on a tight budget, but then again, Warriors of the Deep, the Merca. So don't underestimate the benefits of a bigger budget.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, I suppose. But at least this has a better script to back it up with.
True.
Than Warriors of the Deep. You know, you can. What's that saying? You can put glitter on it. Never mind. keeping it clean.
Keep it PG-13, please.
PG-13. Do we get one F-bomb? Is that how it works?
No.
Fudge!
How dare you?
Oh, sir. Yeah, they went to several different locations here, and particularly like the alien planet, the sort of quarry area, which of course it's Doctor Who, you have to have a quarry. The quarry area, like that was probably the best looking bit, and it's probably my favourite Capaldi scene in the episode as well. You know, that whole bit was fine. Don't worry about the budget, Stephen.
Yeah.
Just do your thing.
Capaldi had some great quotes, like when Nardole says, you know, you can be very silly, you know, and he just kind of grins and moves on.
It just has that sort of goofy grin. And
that was great.
It's like it's the first time in a while where it feels like Capaldi's been allowed to let loose and become the Doctor, like rather than. And
when he's semi-awkwardly explaining where he is, it feels like he's trolling Bill, but he's having fun with it. Like, you know, of course I'm not from space. Nobody's from space. I'm from a planet. But are you from Earth? Not strictly this planet.
Not strictly this one, no.
that was fun. It really seemed like both Pearl Mackie and Peter Capaldi were having fun in this. And Nardole was there. Why does he exist?
I mean,
we know why he exists, but he's only there because he's a big name, and somebody in the one of the higher ups at BBC thought, "Quick, we need a big name to attract people. Just throw Matt Lucas at the show."
Yeah, apparently Matt Lucas specifically asked to come back, and Moffat was like, "Yeah, why not?"
It seemed that he was added rather late, since he had very little role in this.
Yeah, he does get more stuff to do in the later episodes, specifically the ones you haven't seen yet. But
right, he basically turned up mostly to establish the mystery box for the episode for the series.
Yeah, we're not talking about that. The only thing I'm going to say about that is, and this is something I said when we previously tried recording the review. When at this point we now know what's in the vault. I'm not going to spoil it, but at the time I just couldn't care less. Like. It was literally Stuart Hardy, who does some very good Doctor Who reviews. He usually refers to like Moffat story arcs as a mystery box. Here we have a literal mystery box where anything could be inside. Well, not anything, because we know who's coming back this series.
I was going to say, I wonder who could possibly. It's John Sim. Come on, okay. I haven't seen whether it's been announced, whether it's been revealed yet, but it's John Sim.
Yeah,
it's either John Sim or Missy, and Missy is too obvious, even for Moffat.
Yeah, the thing is, it's kind of like the hybrid in Series 9, which I know, guys, but I don't want to be reminded of the hybrid either.
No, I blocked that from my memory too.
Yeah. So is the Doctor. Oh, too soon.
No, out, get out.
Yeah.
I'm ending the call.
Right.
I'm ending it now. Oh wait, no, we've really barely talked about the episode. You get off this time.
But it's with the hybrid, it was either going to be a Shielder, because that's sort of the most obvious one, where it was like, she's a human, she's a Maya, she's a hybrid, she's two warrior races. What else? Who else can it be? And then the other option is Moffat pulls something out of his arse.
And Moffat pulled something out of his arse.
Exactly that. It's like, how is that a hybrid? Sorry, I don't want to. I'm still bitter about the fact that we gave Hellbent a fairly positive review.
I'm still bitter about the fact that Hellbent exists.
The end of 2015 was not good.
Speaking of which, the bloody mind wipe.
Yeah.
I'm segueing into that because it's relevant, because I get what they were trying to do. But why?
I would feel sad if the mind wipe wasn't complete and utter rubbish in Hellbent.
Yeah.
It's because Hellbent's just poisoning the whole of Doctor Who here.
It is.
Because it's like, because the mind wipe in Hellbent wasn't motivated at all. There wasn't. When you stop to think about how it works for one second, there's no way it could work, and there's no way it should work. There's no reason why it is working. And the Doctor even remembers Clara, so it was pointless.
I went on a big rant in that review about how I believe it only happened because it was similar to something that happened to another companion, Charlie Pollard from Big Finish. But that's not relevant to this review, but I wouldn't have minded if it was a reference to Donna, because I don't like the fact that Donna got mind wiped, but I can accept that it's a thing that happened.
Yeah.
But this was just, again, it felt like
it felt kind of full.
It felt like, as I've described Time of the Doctor being, it felt like Moffat jumping up and down and shouting, "Remember this thing I did? Remember this thing you liked? I did that. Me, praise me. Tell me I'm Tell me I'm a good writer."
Tell me I'm funny. Never! We'll never tell you you're funny. But it's like, I think maybe take out Clara's theme, and you could watch this episode with absolutely no context, and take out Clara's theme.
It would work.
You could probably pass it off as like a Superman kissing Lois Lane moment. The memory wipe kiss from I think it's Superman 2, isn't it? I've not actually seen any of the movies.
Boo! Shame on you.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm more of a Marvel fan. They can actually make movies.
Shots fired.
All the shots. But yeah, it's because the reason for the mind wipe in this actually does make sense. Because the Doctor's on this super secret mission and nobody's supposed to know what he's guarding. It kind of makes sense, but it's still kind of a jerky thing to do.
Yeah.
And it's great that Bill calls him out on it, and he does relent and decide, yeah, you're right, just leave me be, go live your own life.
And then changes his mind and says, "Do you want to travel with me?"
Yeah.
Which I still really like, because it should be about having a companion who wants to explore stuff. And
it's it's the Doctor having fun. It's the Doctor being the Doctor, and I've missed the Doctor being the Doctor, because in the past, Capaldi's writing has been so inconsistent.
Capaldi's been consistently fantastic, but his writing has been, as you said, it's been hella inconsistent.
Yeah, I mean, you look at. Here's an example. You've got the woman who lived, where the Doctor's like, no puns. I'm against puns. And then in the very next story, he goes, "Look at me, I'm Dr. Puntastic." Could somebody just write a fact sheet for Capaldi just so you can tell the writers what they're doing wrong? Something
I recently realised was that for Capaldi's first 2 seasons or so, everyone else was writing for the 12th Doctor, but Stephen Moffat was still writing for 11.
Yeah.
Now this series, from what I've seen, which is 1 episode written by Moffat, it's been quite different. he actually feels like his own unique Doctor now, which is good.
Yeah. And I can say from where I'm sat, episode 6 now, that he does feel like his own unique Doctor.
Yeah, and I mean,
and at this point we've had 2.5 episodes written by Moffat.
Yeah, and I mean, I swear, every series with Capaldi, the first episode is always lauded as it's a return to form for Doctor Who. But as someone who is really quite critical of the show, especially nowadays, and by the way, don't think RTD is immune to this. I have lots of problems with RTD's era.
Oh yeah, the season openers are very hit and miss.
But well, Moffat's era is currently airing, so I'm going to be complaining about that more. But I did overall really enjoy this episode.
Yeah, I think I wouldn't say it's the best season opener that at least 12 has had.
It depends on whether you count on what you counted as a season opener last time, because it's better than The Magician's Apprentice. It's not as good as It's not as good as The Witch's Familiar.
I would, no, I'd agree with that actually. I think it's because The Magician's Apprentice ends up sort of dragging The Witch's Familiar down a bit.
I think it was better than Deep Breath.
See, I quite like. I still quite like Deep Breath. It's quite high on my list of top 10, 12 stories.
Fair enough.
But it was a good episode. It's not mind blowing. It's not like Blink. But it's enjoyable.
Yeah. It was a good solid start.
And Capaldi was great. Poe was great. There's sort of a few distractions with waffle and fan baiting here and there. Like the third Doctor sonic screwdriver and the picture of Susan on the desk.
Okay, I liked the picture of Susan just because I like being reminded that Susan exists, because Susan was awesome and she doesn't get enough recognition. And I'm all right with River Song being there because he's only just lost her, really.
Yeah, I'm still at the stage where is it like, shouldn't he be mourning Clara? Considering people have been mourning River since she first appeared, because her first episode was the one she died in. So I'm sort of like, shouldn't we just move on from River and just sort of focus on moping on Clara, or can we just stop moping?
I'm fine with just ignoring the fact that Clara ever existed. Okay, that's unfair. The only Clara thing I actually dislike is Hellbent. I actually kind of liked her in Series 9 until the finale. But again, we're getting off topic. Yeah. We do that a lot. I don't know if you've noticed.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, solid stuff.
Hardly the most engaging plot, but it established the characters. The characters were good. It established the status quo going forward, and it was just fun.
Yeah, I mean, the only one other thing I hope it does going forward, because we mentioned the Vault as the story arc, which we don't care about really.
No.
But the other thing I was sort of hoping would turn up later in this series is Heather, because they sort of end it on maybe Heather's still out there, maybe we'll get the two to actually reunite and be space lesbians in space.
Somehow I doubt it, but I do want more lesbian stuff with Bill because, representation.
Yeah.
Hence why I'm very excited for Rona Monroe's episode later, but that's neither here nor there.
Yeah. Well, I'm so looking forward to Rona's episode.
I'm so looking forward to Rona's episode.
I love Survival.
Same.
Oh, that's great. But yeah, I'm hoping that they'll meet Heather again, because they've kind of set something up there, and I kind of do want to know a bit more about this puddle, because it talks, apparently.
They never explained really where the spaceship came from.
Yeah, is it going to be like the Cyberman spaceship in the finale or something? Or
the only hint is that the pattern it left is basically the exact same pattern as the Dalek spaceship from Remembrance of the Daleks, which is a very tenuous link to make.
See, because that's what I was kind of expecting, because they did sort of reveal the Daleks were going to be in the episode, but I was thinking okay, this is going to be from a Dalek spaceship. It's no, the Daleks are only just here so we can fulfill our contract with the Terry Nation estate.
Which I appreciate. We don't need a Dalek episode forced into every series.
Yeah, this is true. Although I don't know why we had to force the Mabellians in there, but hey ho, I suppose it made somebody happy.
I mean, I like fan service as much as the next person, as long as it serves the story. This kind of made sense in that they were going to a Dalek war, which is going to be the hottest fire in the universe, but it felt a bit wasted.
Yeah.
In any case, I appreciated the reference, even if I don't know why it was there.
Yeah, that's a good summation of most of them off that era there.
Yeah, I'm just Captain America sitting here saying, I understood that reference.
I understood that reference.
I don't think anybody didn't understand that reference.
Yeah, it's true. It's because Marvel can actually make a film. I'm just going to stop taking these pot shots at DC now.
Why? It's fun.
Suicide Squad sucked.
To be fair, I am looking forward to Wonder Woman.
Yeah, I am kind of interested in seeing that. But in any case,
I think we've pretty much discussed everything we want to discuss about the episode.
yeah, pretty much. I think the pilot solid start.
Yeah, remind me of the title again.
A Star in Her Eye.
Touche. Touche. Yeah, so we enjoyed the pilot. What else is new? You know, leave your comments. Tell us what you thought. Tell us what you thought of our annoying voices. Tell us if we missed anything that you wanted to talk about. Tell us, and we'll possibly discuss it in the next video. And until then, this is Charlie.
And this is Russell.
Signing off.